Two more videos left of proofs. This is really kind of the last one. We have one that's adding on a little bit, but this is really the big chunk of proofs that we have left. Objective: use CPCTC, we've talked about it before, to prove parts of triangles are congruent. Okay, remember that CPCTC means that corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. So if we have congruent triangles and we have corresponding parts, then those corresponding parts are congruent to each other. Again, CPCTC can only be used to prove parts are congruent. It cannot be used to prove triangles are congruent. We prove triangles are congruent by using all those acronyms, or those A's and S's, the H and L, that whole thing. So first we're going to have to prove that the triangles are congruent. Once they're congruent, we can use CPCTC to say that the parts are congruent. So if we look at a couple of examples, let's remember first the ways that we can prove triangles are congruent. So hopefully you're thinking, and hopefully you know all the ways, but we have angle, angle, side. We have side, angle, side. We have side, side, side. We have angle, side, angle. And then we have the weird one, the one that's only for right triangles. We have HL. Okay? I'm going to do one of these, so make sure you're paying attention as I go through it. I'm going to ask you guys to do two. Then in class tomorrow, we're going to go ahead and do 3 and 4 together. Yeah, not a whole lot of math, but you do have to kind of think out loud as you're going through these. You have to write exactly what you're thinking. So, given AB is congruent to DC. Given ABC, so triangle ABC, or I'm sorry, angle ABC here is congruent to angle DCB there. Prove that angle A is congruent to angle D. Again, we cannot prove parts are congruent without proving first the triangles are congruent. So we want to go ahead and say that you can tell which triangles we're going to be working with. Okay, that one, and then our overlapping triangle here. We need to first show that those two triangles are congruent. Okay, so this is going to be step by step. We've talked about our givens. Those are our freebies. Start with them. So AB is congruent to DC given. That's an S. You're done. Don't even have to use that anymore. You don't have to say anything else. That's a freebie. You're done. You have an S. 2. Angle ABC is congruent to angle DCB given. Again, that's another angle. You're done. Okay? You've got two things down. What else, looking at this diagram, can you come up with? Well, look at the triangles, look at what they share in common, and you'll see that that line is used, or that segment is used for both triangles. BC is used for both the yellow triangle and that blue triangle. So what we can say is BC is congruent to itself through the, again, here comes the reflexive property, and that would be a side. We now have three letters. Okay, so we have to decide how we're going to use them. Alright, so we're going to prove first which triangles are congruent. So we're going to say that triangle, I'll use ABC. Then that would have to match up with DCB. Again, double check how that matches up. By, okay, let's see how we use this. We used, okay, if we're looking at AB, that's a side. We're looking at B as an angle, BC is a side. So that goes side, angle, side. And that would be given, in this case, it's that particular order. So 1, 2, 3. I'm going to run out of room here. Okay, so we're not quite done because this is our last statement. We haven't proved that yet. So our final statement would now be, and this is the easy part, if you can get to there, you're pretty much done. Angle A is congruent to angle D. Reasoning, CPCTC. It's the last step. Easy enough. If you can prove the triangles are congruent, you know all their corresponding parts are congruent, and you can see how angle A and angle D match up. So they have to be congruent to each other. That's it. So again, prove the triangles first, then use CPC to prove that the particular parts are congruent. All I want you guys to do for tomorrow is try number 2. We're going to do 3 and 4 in class together tomorrow. Again, I want to make sure you guys can handle these proofs. It's not an easy thing to get the hang of. Once you get the hang of it, I think you guys will understand it. You'll see what you want to do, but you got to make sure you understand what's going on first. Okay, so make sure you have this video done. Make sure you have number 2 done. It's a short video. Didn't go through a whole lot. Make sure you guys have that done for class tomorrow. See ya.